Hi, welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and today I'm wrapping up February. I read 19 books in February. 10 of them were audiobooks. One was a graphic novel. One I DNF'd out of the 19. So I'm going to, I already did a mid-month wrap-up, so I'm going to go quickly with the first couple of books, and then I will share with the remaining of the books and share you a synopsis of what I liked it. So to start off is the books that I already did my mini review already. So I'm going to go quickly with these, okay? So the first one was a graphic novel, Lunch Lady. I gave it 5 stars. That's the Lunch Lady. The second book I read was Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces, and that was a middle grade book. I gave it 3 stars, this one here. The next book was an audio book. It's John Grisham, Gray Mountain. I didn't like it so much. I gave it 2 stars. The next book is Cracks in the Sidewalk by Bentley Crosby, and I gave this one 5 stars. That's this one. Okay, the next one was City of Bones by Cassandra Clare. I gave it 3 stars. Love Your Life by Victoria Austin. I gave it 4 stars. That was an audiobook. Okay. An audiobook, I listened to The Green Mile Book 1. I gave that one 3 stars. And Salt to the Sea by Ruta Septis. I gave that one 5 stars. Okay. And Identical was an audiobook by Ellen Hopkins, and I gave that one 3 stars. Okay, so now this is where it begins, where I left off of my my mid-month review. So I'm going to start and tell you what I liked about these books. Okay, I continued The Green Mile Book 2, and it's called Mouse on the Mile, and I really enjoyed it. Not as much as the first, well, about the same as the first one. So I was listening to it on audio. I gave it 3 stars, and this is what it looks like. And this one was about Mr. Jingles, the mouse, and he joins the story, and the narration annoyed me because I was reading the physical book and listening to it at the same time, and he was changing the words. This is the second time that this has happened to me during audiobooks. He would say, he would just change the word, like you would read and change the words and then you can't find your place, and I hate that. I like when they physically read the entire book and don't change words. So that's why I gave it 3 stars, okay? Okay, so the next book that I picked up was a heartbreaking one, and I listened to, I read this one. I read The Chosen One by Carol Lynch Williams, and I gave this one 4 stars. It looks like this one. I just picked this off my shelf, and I said, let's read this one. And 4 stars I gave it. It's a heartbreaking story about a 13-year-old girl who lives in a compound where this polygamy is acceptable, and her family, she has 3 moms and 1 dad and 19 siblings, and she is supposed to marry her 60-year-old uncle. And that is actually on the back of the book, so I did not spoil anything. This book is about child abuse and violence. I did enjoy it. I read it in 2 days. The next book that I read on my Kindle, I DNF'd. I tried to read it, but it was just not for me. It's The Royal We, and I was reading this. I DNF'd that one. I didn't enjoy it at all. So it was unnecessary drinking, past and present confusion, and without notice, and just not good. So that's what I wrote in my book. So I'm not going to continue that one. Okay, the next 4 books were in audio. I continued The Green Mile. I read book 3, and book 3 was much better than book 2. I gave it 4 stars. The narrative still changed the words around, but you got to see John Coffey a little bit more, and he seems to have something that I don't want to spoil anything. So, so the end of the book gave me goosebumps, and yeah. So I don't want to spoil anything, but that was, yeah. So that's why I upped it to 4 stars. The next book I read was The Green Mile, book 4. And this one, again, I gave 4 stars. It gets better and better as you go on. That's what I wrote in my book here. Then I read Green Mile, book 5. And this one I gave 4 stars as well. This gave me a chuckle. I was kind of laughing at this one. Still amazed by John Coffey. And I have some doubts about whether or not he's the killer or not. So, did someone else do it? So that's what I have in my notes here. So here you go. And then in book 6, which I finally finished it, I gave it 4 stars as well. I was a little ruined with this book because I did see the movie before I read the books, but I really liked how Stephen King gave some supernatural powers in this book, and I really enjoyed it. It wasn't that scary. There was only like one part that was kind of gross, but other than that, I really enjoyed this book. So 4 stars. Okay, moving on to YA. I picked up Did I Mention I Love You? I read this with my book club. This one is by Estelle Mascami. Looks like this one. I gave this one 4 stars. This one, I had a lot of emotions while reading this book. This book is for mature audiences. It's about a girl who moves with her mom. No, I'm sorry. She moves across. I'm getting confused with my other book. She moves. She moves across. She goes to the. She goes to live with her father, who has remarried, and he is. So she leaves her mom and she goes for the summer. So it's like a whole 3-month period of time of this book. So there was a lot of emotions I felt while reading this book. I was angry at the parents. I was annoyed with the alcohol and drugs. I was happy and sad, and I did not cry. Eden, she's 16 years old. She lives with her dad for 3 months in the summer. Her stepmom has 3 sons. The oldest one is Tyler, and he has some major issues. Warning: this book has mature content, drugs, alcohol, child abuse, and sexual content. So that's what I wrote in my notes here. So I did enjoy it. I do want to read the next book. I was a little annoyed at the end of the book. I did not see that coming. But I will definitely be buying the next book, which comes out March 1st. Okay, so the next book that I listened to on audio was The Power of Habit. And this is by Charles DeHung. And I gave this one 2 stars. This is funny. While I was reading this book, the author, I tweeted, you know how Goodreads tweets about what page number you're on? Well, the author contacted me, so it was kind of spooky, and I didn't like that as well. But I really liked the beginning of the book, but after a while, the book just, I was hoping it was a self-help book, where this is a nonfiction book, and I was hoping to like get some insight of how to change habits or stuff like that. The beginning of the book, it tells you about how your brain works, and I thought that was kind of interesting, and how like it's very hard to change a habit, and like brushing your teeth is a habit, driving a car is a habit, and I thought that was really cool. The second part of the book, so that's the first part of the book. I really like that part. The second part of the book, I felt like I was listening to an advertisement of a company like trying to sell me Febreze, trying to sell me all different things from Starbucks, all different types of things. It lost my interest. I remember I was listening to this on audio, and I was like, oh, do I finish this book? I was about to DNF it. I did pat myself on the back. I did finish it. I completed it. I sped through, and I listened to the whole thing. So that's the second part of the book. I did not like the second part. The third part of the book I didn't like as well. It was history. It was about the Parks, the person who gets on the bus. So I felt like I was listening to a history book, and I'm not too thrilled about history. So, yeah. So that's why I gave it 2 stars. I only liked the very first 50 pages of it. And then in the very end, it concludes again, and then he wraps it up, and he tells you, like, the part that I really wanted is on the very end of the book. So, yeah, I don't know. And I was creeped out that the author texted me. So, yeah. So that's that one. And the next book that I finally finished, I'm reading this for the book club, is the Meg Cabot, The Shadowland Mediator. Now, remember, I have the Australian cover, so they changed the name of the book. And I read the first part. I love you to death. It's actually the Shadowland originally. So I gave this one 4.5 stars. I really liked her writing style. I was going through it really fast. Now this was the one that I got confused with my other book. So this is about a girl. She goes from New York to California to live, but her mom goes with her, and she remarries, and she marries a guy who has 3 boys. So here you go, 3 again. So the number 3 came up again. So she has 3 boys. I was getting the 2 books confused. Anyway, it starts off as a contemporary. I really liked it. She gets off the plane, and she meets her 3 brothers, and she gives them names, which is really cute, like step names. You don't really know the names until later on, but and it was really cute. And then something happens. She sees ghosts. So yeah, I thought it was really cool. So superpowers came in, and I really enjoyed it. And yeah, so I will continue this one. There's lots of action in this book. The pacing was really good. It got slow, it got fast, it got slow, it got fast. I really enjoyed that. And I read it in a couple of days. I do plan on continuing this because I am halfway through, because now it starts the new book. So I will continue reading this probably in the month of March. I'm going to continue it. My Goodreads group is up. You can comment if you want to join us. You could even start from book 1 and comment. Our comments are already there. And I'm going to continue on, and I can use this for why haven't I read this book before? The readathon is the whole month of March, so I'm going to continue this and use that as part of one of my books. So here you go. So that's it. This one. So, okay. So what did I not finish? I did not finish Allegiant, and I am not going to finish it today. There's no way I could get this done in one day. I have work today, so I will continue this in the month of March. I did get pretty far, like 1/3 of the book. I'm on page 144, so I will continue this because the movie is coming out at the end of this month. So I can continue this today and through March. So so that's this one. And then I also started this one, and there's no way I'm going to finish it. So The Things We Keep by Sally Hepworth. Sorry. This one is about Alzheimer's, and I definitely want to read this one. This is a library book. Allegiant is my book. So yeah, so I'm going to continue reading this one. I think I have 2 more weeks to read this one. So yeah, I love reading books about Alzheimer's. Now remember, I think I already told you this, but this is about a 38-year-old girl who gets Alzheimer's at a very young age, and her parents or somebody puts her into a old age home. So she's 38 years old, and she's living in an old age home because she doesn't remember things. But it's really, really interesting. And then she meets a guy who has dementia. So, yeah. So very interesting. And this is a new release. It just came out. And I'm hoping to finish this, and I hope I like it. The teacher in school already read it, and she really liked it. So she said, continue on. So that's this one. Okay. So thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you next in the middle of the month or next video. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, and see you in another video. Bye.